welcome to obviously the M365 update webinar. We're going to use this webinar to talk obviously about some updated features that are really cool that have just come out and are rolling out across the rest of this year. Australia, as with most things, we do get things a little later sometimes. So America actually has access to some of these newer features. We will get it. So just preface some of that with some of the updates will not be, most of them are, but some of them might not be available just yet. But okay, let's kick off. So welcome. I would love to start with an acknowledgement of country. So we begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather. We honour their connections to land, sea and community and pay our respects to the elders past, present and future. We also extend that respect to any First Nation people joining us today. So welcome everyone. I'm so excited. As I mentioned, I love AI and tech, and it's definitely something I'm interested in on a personal and professional level. So I think I also mentioned I've just started with IT&T a few weeks ago, so I will be taking over these webinars moving forward, and I'm hopefully going to be doing them monthly. I will be using them as like a Microsoft update to make sure you guys are on top of all the latest features and how they can positively impact your business. But I'll also be using these sessions as more of a AI update as well, so we can kind of learn what's been happening the month prior, any fun little AI stories that are out there. So I want to expand it into a M365 and an AI let's catch up on the industry kind of webinar update, which I think will be fun to do with you all moving forward. So as I mentioned, just joined IT&T. I've got a background in marketing. So I've come on board to help in the marketing department, which I'm really excited about. I have been absolutely blown away by IT&T's the way they run on both a customer service, and their technology and the abilities they have are so advanced to compare to some of the organizations I've been at. So I've been super impressed, and I'm just excited to share the knowledge more and make sure the knowledge is more available amongst our clients, and also some friendly faces that might not have joined the organization yet or who are just interested in tech in general. Okay, cool. So let's get started. Our agenda for today, so we'll kind of go through, it is a very long deck because there has been quite a few updates. So I'm going to probably fly through some of the more kind of technical ones because I don't want to get too, I'm going to more focus it on how it can positively impact your business and the why versus the technical details. There will be an opportunity at the end to register your interest if you need to have a chat to one of our technical specialists, or our wonderful customer service and sales manager are also on the chat. So we can, if you fill that out, we can direct you to the right person. It doesn't matter if you're a current client or someone who's just kind of jumping on board that wants to kind of learn more about what we offer and what we do. You're all welcome to reach out. We offer also free audits and free Microsoft 365 optimization reviews, so that can be part of the chat as well. But any really technical questions, please save until the end, although I can see that Maria and Anita, who are very, very knowledgeable, are on the call, and some of our IT specialists as well. So if there's anything that does come up, do send it through to the chat, but otherwise we also will have the opportunity at the end of the call to fill out that form and book you in for a proper chat. Okay, let's get started. Welcome, Terry and Marion, welcome. All right, I love that our little audience is growing. Our AI connoisseurs, you'll be AI experts by the end of it. Or maybe not by the end of it, but maybe by the end of this year if we run these monthly. Okay, let's jump into this kind of more introduction slide. I wanted to start here because this slide gives us some really useful context and perspective. Every major technology shift has changed how people work, how businesses operate, and how economies grow. What this chart shows is the global GDP, which is the global economy essentially, over time. The key thing to notice is not the detail of every invention, but the shape of the curve. For a long time, growth was relatively slow. Then as technologies like electricity, mass production, computers, the internet, and the cloud emerged, the pace of change accelerated dramatically in terms of growth. And the numbers at the bottom show how much growth multiplied across different centuries have been. So earlier periods saw very limited growth. As you can see, we've got the printing press. And then more recently, the economy grew exponentially and much faster than we have ever seen in history. And I guess the point is not to say that AI will automatically deliver the same results overnight. I think it's more to say that AI is a part of the next major shift and in the next major industrial revolution in how work gets done. And for businesses, the question isn't really, will I matter? The question is, how quickly can we understand it, adopt it, and safely use it to create real value? That is the question. I wanted to do a fun little quiz. So, how long do you, hey Marion, how long do you think these technologies that I'm about to mention took to get to 100 million users? So there's three options. So the mobile phone, the internet. Sorry, let me rephrase that question. Which one of these three that I'm about to mention took the longest to reach 100 million users? Mobile phones, the internet, or Facebook? So which one of those three took the longest? Pop your answers in the chat if anyone wants to have a guess. Which one took the longest to reach 100 million users? Facebook, the internet, or mobile phones? If anyone wants to have a guess? Internet. Interesting guess. Love it. Anyone else? Mobile phone. Couple for mobile, couple for internet. All right. Okay. And I'll reveal the answer on the next slide, but how long do you think it took ChatGPT to reach 100 million users? Any guesses before we go to the next slide? How long do you think it took ChatGPT to reach 100 million users? Okay, 1 month. You're not far off. That was a good guess. 6 to 12, also close. It's crazy that we start talking in months versus years, right? Okay, so let me show you. Here we go. Mobile phones, 16 years. That was the longest. Internet, not far behind. Well, half, but still not far behind. Still 7 years. Facebook, even less, 4.5 years. ChatGPT took 3 months to reach 300 users. And I think that's it's scary and it's also exciting. It's definitely two sides of a coin. And the reason I show you this isn't because ChatGPT is significantly at this stage better than those technologies, or that's what we're focusing on. It's because it demonstrates the speed at which AI has entered both our personal and professional lives. We have never really seen a technology adopted at this pace before. This is why AI has become such an important conversation for businesses. AI is no longer hype. It is one of the fastest adopted technologies we have ever seen. So the question is, we've got to ask ourselves, it's no longer whether AI is coming. It's here. We're in it. The real question is, how can organizations use it safely, effectively, and in a way that creates genuine value? And that's kind of what we're going to explore today through the updates that Microsoft has been doing. Just move to the next slide. Okay, so before we jump into the actual features and updates themselves, I just wanted to highlight something. What we're seeing is that AI is no longer limited to a single application. Whether it's security compliance, device management, Copilot, or AI agents, Microsoft is embedding AI across the entire Microsoft 365 system. Today, we're not going to cover every update, but we are going to look at some of the changes that we think will have the biggest impact on today's productivity and the way people work. Okay, so one of the biggest ones is co-work is now available. So we have Copilot and Copilot Co-work. One of the more interesting updates is the Copilot Co-work. Think of it less like a chatbot that's how we kind of think of probably ChatGPT and just general Copilot, but it's more like a digital team member that can complete multi-step tasks on your behalf. Instead of asking us a single question, you can ask it to complete a whole piece of work with multi-layered processes. For example, if you wanted to, ask it, prepare a weekly executive update, pull together information from emails, or help prepare for a custom meeting, all in the one kind of co-work space. The key difference is that it is designed to manage and work through more complex tasks that would normally take a person considerably longer to complete. Now, don't worry, don't get nervous. It's not replacing any staff, but it might take some of the repetitive admin tasks off their plates. So when we think of AI, we don't want to focus on, is people's jobs getting replaced an element of AI? It is. We can't ignore that. However, in the sense that we're talking about it now, we want to make sure that we're thinking about it as how we can make our business more effective, more productive, and get our teams focusing on things that will drive our business forward and help our business run smoother, and therefore create better customer experiences and better business returns and growth. So the trend we're seeing, to summarize all that, the trend we're seeing is that AI is moving beyond answering questions and increasingly help companies complete entire pieces of work. Copilot helps you create content, if you want to think about it this way, and Copilot Co-work can coordinate and complete multi-step work on your behalf. For example, instead of asking AI to summarize a meeting, you could ask Co-work to prepare a client briefing, pull information from emails, meetings, and documents, and then present it as the finished report. So another new feature that has just come out is a new design. It's not a major new capability, but it's just an example of how important it is to create a user face and system that people can easily adopt. Sometimes the most significant changes are more about people's ability to adopt and digest and use a technology versus the actual technical details themselves. And this would fall into that category. Microsoft has simplified the Copilot experience, making it easier to navigate, pick up where you left off, and keep conversations organized. I've been using this for the last few weeks, and I am so loving Copilot. Like it is really, really helpful in reducing some of the longer admin time for some of the work I do. The goal for it is simple. It's less friction and faster adoption. Question for you all. What AI platforms are you currently? Do you have a preference for Claude, ChatGPT, or both? If anyone's willing to share. Me personally, I use both for different reasons. I find ChatGPT is better at image generation if I need to. Lachlan's both. Okay, we've got another Copilot and ChatGPT, and I find Claude better for more longer form content. Personal and Copilot for work. Okay, excellent, great. Okay, great. Copilot as well. Perfect. Well, I think the next update will interest you guys because Microsoft is now integrated with Claude, which is very exciting. And one of the latest Claudes. This is, just keep in mind, this is from June. So they may even have updated it since then. Things are changing so quickly, but we just haven't got the official update from Microsoft yet. So one of the more interesting updates is that Microsoft is expanding their AI models available inside Copilot now. So Claude Opus 4.8 is now available for certain Copilot experiences, giving users access to another leading AI model for more complex reasoning, analysis, and multi-step work. The important takeaway isn't the model itself, it's that the users can increasingly choose the best AI task for what they're the best AI for the task they're going to complete. So as I think some of you mentioned, you use both. I personally use both. Well, now I use three because I use Copilot as well. But you can actually switch. There's a drop down and you can say, I just want to use Claude for this particular task, or I just want to use Chat, or Auto will actually just kind of default assign what platform is better for whatever you're doing. And it's kind of a combination of all three. So it's really interesting that there's a lot of integration and kind of each of these eyes are building off each other, which gives us a better outcome for our work. So ChatGPT, we've also got ChatGPT. So behind the scenes, Microsoft is also continuing to improve access to ChatGPT through OpenAI. For users, that means faster responses, better quality answers, and more natural experiences without needing to learn anything new. So it's all integrating with these platforms that are essentially competitors in some ways, and even Copilot is a competitor in its own way as well. But I think Microsoft really understands the benefit of, it's not about, oh, we don't want to use competitors. It's how do we get the best outcome for our clients and give them the best AI tools available on the market. And that's having access to both. All right, this is a fun one. So notebook, I don't know how many people, so I'm still pretty old school sometimes. I will absolutely use a pen and paper to write down my notes. And I've often just plopped stuff in either a Word document or notebook, but the notebook that is available on Microsoft 365 is amazing. And this is one of my favorite updates, Copilot notebooks. Think of it now as your AI assistant or your AI guided notebook, your digital notebook that you'd previously write on handwritten. Copilot notebooks now bring together meetings, notes, documents, and spreadsheets into one workspace, making it much easier to pull information together and turn it into something useful. I just think it's like a digital organizational tool or app that you'd previously kind of you'd write your to-do list and you'd be like, oh, this meeting notes for this, but you can do it all within Notebook now, keep that digital record so you don't have to go, where did that paper go? And then also pull from other emails, pull information from calendars. So once, I think it'll take a little bit to get used to, but I think once you do, like I'm still getting used to, I still find myself, I've been using it since I started. And then every now and I'll catch myself defaulting and still writing on my pen and paper. I think I will always do that because I feel like it helps me digest it. But then I love using both. I love being able to just have a complete summary and can reference something in a really like logical, formatted way. I'm a really big, this is actually probably one of my favorite updates because I like to be structured and organized. And Copilot in Apple CarPlay. Now, this isn't to listen to music. This is actually, can you keep all your MD? That is a great question. I probably can't technically answer that right now, but I will either book a chat at the end, or I might, Mary or Anita, if you have the answer for that, or one of our tech specialists, feel free to jump in. I just don't want to give you the wrong information while I'm still kind of getting the ins and outs of everything of what you can and can't do with it. So again, this might sound like a simple example with Apple CarPlay, but it is a good example of AI fitting into the flow of work. You can stay connected, get caught up on information, and continue conversations while commuting, all through voice. So that would include, I'm going to give you an example of something really random. Like we have a Tesla and my husband uses Grok all the time to, you know, whether we've got the kids in the car, tell jokes to the kids if they're like needing to be entertained. But this is a great one. If you're in the car on the way home, you've got Apple CarPlay and you're like, okay, I had such a hectic day. Can you please recap my meetings and give me the summary notes from the meetings? Because I've probably jumped ahead to a feature a little bit, but you can also now get AI recaps from every single meeting through M365, which is amazing. And then that would connect to whatever the same app in the Apple CarPlay. So you could literally be like, please recap my meetings to me from today. Please make sure I've responded to all the emails that are flagged, or tell me how many meetings I've got tomorrow. This can all be done on the go. So you can kind of continue, you don't have to stop and reopen your laptop at home. You could literally do exactly the same thing while driving home, or pop your AirPods in, or whatever you want to do. Just to give you an example of how it could be used. It's basically so you don't have to stop, start. You could continue something while you're a bit more mobile. So I guess a good example, imagine driving to a client meeting and asking Copilot to brief you on tomorrow's schedule, summarize your week to help prepare for a meeting while you're on the move. For example, you could say, can you tell me what meetings I have for tomorrow? Can you please give me the key summary points meeting by meeting from my notes app for the whole week, which is similar to the example I just gave you. But it's just, if we think about in ways that we can automate our life to free up time, is our most valuable resource. And M365 is there to help us free up time so we can focus on other more important things. Okay, prompt gallery. So prompt gallery is a really good one when we're kind of looking at AI adoption as well. I think one of the biggest barriers to AI adoption is knowing what to ask it. The expanded prompt gallery, which is the new feature update, gives users proven prompts and examples, helping people get value from Copilot much faster. For example, let's look at this example. You could say, be prepared for my meeting with Lachlan. We'll use Lachlan as an example. Be prepared for my meeting with Lachlan next week. Please summarize all relevant emails in relation to this topic. So maybe Lachlan and I, working on a new decal sticker for the wall, just picking a marketing example. For our front porch. So if I said that summary in that prompt, the prompt would give me back, Copilot would give me back every email that's related to that, every chat that's related to that, every document that's related to that, and summarize it. And basically I can catch up on everything. Even if something happened 6 months ago, it will allow me to find that document easily through the prompts. And again, that's just it didn't have to spend 2 hours searching through all the documents. It just gave me the summary prompt where we were up to for Lachlan, my meeting with Lachlan. Similar kind of concept in Outlook. It was really interesting. Actually, as I was doing this presentation, I was testing the features as I was going, just to make sure I understood it and could really understand the value. And one of the ones, no worries, Katrina, we'll send it out. We'll send out the webinar and the PowerPoint afterwards. Sorry, where was I up to? So similar concepts in Microsoft Outlook as well. If you were like had an email chain that had spanned 3 months with one person on one topic, you'd basically just ask it to summarize for you within Microsoft Outlook, which is great. This is where the cutting out the admin is going to come in handy. Call delegation, you can, there's like, as we're coming up, there's quite a few features, so I'm going to go through them quite quickly just so we can get through all of them. And again, if there's anything you really want to touch on, feel free to let us know. We can absolutely jump on a call with you. So you can actually get Microsoft 365 to get missed calls from you and contact the user and just ask what they were calling about, and then they will send you that back rather than having to call them back or email them back. It's all set up and automated for the call delegation to do that for you. Okay, smaller update, but an important one. Organizations now have more control over meeting recaps and helping and align AI-generated content with retention, privacy, and governance requirements. So not only can we recap a video, we also have the ability to recap deletion in Teams. So if there's any information that's been shared that shouldn't have been shared or that is highly sensitive and you prefer not to have it saved on the drive, you can absolutely now go back and delete that at your discretion. And also here we go, document activity summaries. It's another example of just efficiency and being able to digest and summarize information rather than having to spend 3 hours on it. You spend 30 minutes on it digesting it with the summaries. So rather than trying to work out what's changed in a document, Copilot can summarize activity and updates for you in a simple way to get you up to speed much faster. Personalization as well. So Copilot is actually getting better and better at learning your personal style, whether it's writing or the prompts that you would normally use, or if it knows you work in a particular way, it can really get good with that. So it's actually a really good tool to kind of be able to automate your work in a way that's stylized to your own kind of tone and voice. Again, a very similar one. I'm going to flip through this because this is very similar. Writing suggestions from Word. Again, utilizing what it's learned through your prompts and your style and tone of writing and voice, it will make suggestions for you. This is a really interesting one. So how many times has someone sent you like a 30-slide presentation, expected feedback by lunch? Copilot can quickly summarize presentations, highlight the key messages, help you prepare any questions you need. Also, while you're watching a presentation, you actually now have the ability, this is the interesting part, if someone's got a slide you don't fully understand, but you actually really would like to understand it, Copilot can now actually digest that information for you and regenerate the information whilst on the meeting in a way that's easier to digest and understand, which I think is a fabulous feature. Sometimes someone puts a chart up and you're like, what does this mean? But Copilot will help you go, okay, these numbers mean X, Y, and Z, which is great. You can actually create your presentations in Copilot as well, visually. If you have a really text-heavy slide, you can get Copilot to visually create that for you. I've actually been testing this. You can create like 30-page presentations or 20-page presentations based on the context. It still like needs some finessing once it's done, but it's incredible. It saves you so much time. Okay, cool. If we all step back from some of these individual features we've looked at today, I guess the real opportunity isn't necessarily like AI itself. It's helping people find information faster, understand it faster, and take action faster, which leads to better business outcomes. I think traditionally people spend a lot of time searching through emails, team chats, documents, and meeting notes, just trying to work out what happened. And AI is helping to remove that friction. On the content side, it's reducing the time spent starting from a blank page. You no longer have to go research all over the web, spending hours doing research, then starting your first paragraph, and we all stop at the computer and you document, and you're like, oh God, now I've got brain block. How do I start this whole document? It just eliminates that. Like traditionally spend a lot of time searching through emails, as I mentioned, team chats, documents, and meeting notes. AI is just helping to remove the friction. And on the content side, it's reducing the time spent starting from, oh, sorry, I just reread the same thing. Give me a second. The organizations seeing the strongest results aren't necessarily the ones using the most AI. They're the ones using AI to remove repetitive admin work and free people up. Like I said, time is actually always has and always will be the biggest commodity that you can't necessarily buy. And I think that AI is what gives us time back. Okay. So one of the biggest opportunities with AI is capturing the knowledge of your best people and turning it into a repeatable process that everyone can benefit from. Every organization has individuals who are exceptionally good at specific tasks, and AI gives us an opportunity to document that expertise, standardize it, and scale it across the business, which again, we're focused on how does AI produce better growth and business outcomes. And again, this is a perfect example of how we can use AI in that sense. And instead of relying on this kind of tribal legacy knowledge, organizations can make best practice more consistent, more accessible across all team members. And that kind of leads to as well, one of the biggest challenges with any technology rollout is adoption. The learning agent, which is again a new feature, is designed to help people build skills while they're actually doing the work. Rather than sending staff away for training sessions, it provides guidance, coaching, and recommendations in the flow of work. So it's not you keep having to refer back to a manual process document or an SOP. It's not someone having to take time out of their other role and guide you. It's literally an assistant guiding you through each step of the new process that you're learning, which is incredible. For example, if someone is trying to use Copilot for reporting, presentations, or analysis, the learning agent can help guide them through the process and improve confidence over time. So people don't need to rely on other people to train. This is where AI can really free up time when onboarding, for example. Okay. And another new feature is actually the amount of resources that Microsoft are putting into the Adoption Hub. I mean, as we just talked about in the previous slide, in the previous feature, adoption is going to be one of the biggest challenges. And I think one of the big mistakes that many organizations make is assuming that turning Copilot on or signing up to Copilot automatically delivers results. I think the biggest thing we need to do is to make sure our staff and team members feel empowered to use it and know exactly what they're going to do, time they're going to save, the outcomes they're going to get, and a positive impact. So the Adoption Hub is designed to also help with that. Improve usage, build confidence in team members, and identify opportunities where AI can create value in your organization. You know, ultimately, success isn't measured by how many licenses you own. It's how many people effectively use them when it comes to AI. The federated Copilot connectors. Again, this is getting a little bit more technical, but let me just quickly run you through. We're almost at the end of the deck. And then I'll give you some time back from the hour, but bear with me, we're almost there. I know this has been a lot to digest, a lot of features, and again, I will send this round afterwards, so don't feel like you have to take it all in right now. So federated Copilot connectors, most organizations don't keep all of that. I think this is a really important one just to note. They don't keep all of their information inside Microsoft 365. I think they will, and they should, but that's, you know, everything is a work in progress, and we're kind of in this big kind of industrial digital AI revolution where businesses will be transitioning and transforming over the next 5 to 10 years. Important information often sits in business applications, databases, customer systems, and industry-specific platforms. Federated connectors help bring that information together, allowing Copilot to search and access information across multiple systems for a single experience. For many organizations, this is where AI starts to become genuinely transformational because it can access much more of the information people need to do their jobs. And now this one kind of leans more back into the privacy feature update, where now when you do a webinar or a meeting again, and as AI adoption increases, security and governance become more important. I think this update will allow organizations to apply watermarks to sensitive content shared during team meetings, helping the risk of inappropriate sharing or distribution of that really sensitive information. It's a good reminder, while organizations are embracing AI, they also need the right controls in place to protect and manage the risk and the information within their organization, especially when looking at kind of more sensitive areas of the business or sensitive organizations that have, you know, medical information, for example. Okay, autopilot. We've spent a lot of time talking about AI helping people work more efficiently. Agents can take this a step further. If Copilot is your AI assistant, think of an agent as a digital team member designed to perform a specific task or business process. For example, an agent could help onboard employees, prepare reports, process requests, or support customer inquiries. The trend we're seeing is that AI is moving beyond just answering questions and increasingly moving towards helping businesses complete work. All right, they've got a little video on it, so I'm hoping it works. You never know with presentations sometimes. So Microsoft Scout is another glimpse into where AI is actually heading. And rather than waiting for you to ask a question, Scout is actually designed to act more like a always-on personal assistant. Wouldn't we love one of them in real life as well? It can help surface important information, keep you organized, and provide proactive assistance throughout the day. So think of it as like, maybe you've got a presentation coming up. It's going to prompt you, hey, have you practiced the presentation for tomorrow? Here's some key points. Let me know if you'd like to pull up the document and we can kind of run through it. So it would be something similar to that. The broader trend again here is that AI is becoming more and more personalized, proactive, and integrated into the way people work. Again, just moving from all of us thinking about AI like I can put in a chat prompt and I'll get some answers. It's literally going to be integrated where it becomes proactive in our life and we don't actually have to ask it anything. It will automatically pay a bill. It will automatically surface meeting notes. Let me see if we can get this video going so we can just a little insight into how it will work. How good is that? So you can see kind of the personal assistant vibes it's giving out, which I think will be really, really cool. I think, again, just, I think in this day and age, there's a lot to do. We're expected to do more with less just based on how work has evolved. And I think AI can really help us realign with that, especially if we learn how to use it properly. It will just give us back that balance a little bit more so we can do things feeling unpressured because AI is taking the heavy lifting in some areas that would previously take us hours. Now, yes, sign me up too. Exactly, Lachlan. Great, right? I won't spend too much time on this slide because it's a little more technical. But the key takeaway is that Microsoft is actually now investing heavily in its own family of AI models. So it's going to be Claude, ChatGPT, and whatever Microsoft comes up with once they probably get it out to market. Obviously, we have Copilot and it's within Copilot, but I think they're thinking of creating one that's like Gemini, ChatGPT, so it kind of stands on its own as well. And I think the key takeaway is that Microsoft is now really putting this at the forefront for customers, and it wants greater innovation, deeper integration across Microsoft ecosystem as well, and continued investment in AI capabilities going forward. Like, I can't wait to see where Microsoft 365 is in the next 6 to 12 months. It's just leaps and bounds every single month, every time. So when we run these webinars, hopefully monthly moving forward, I'm going to probably have very exciting news every time because that's how fast they're moving. One last feature I will show you, and then I will jump to the end. So meet the new Copilot Studio, which is very cool. Still a newer one and obviously one of the newer features. I'm still getting my head around this one as well, so we can probably do it a little bit more in depth in another session. But this is where the conversation moves beyond personal productivity and into business transformation. Copilot Studio allows organizations to build their own agents, automate businesses' processes, and connect AI into existing systems and workflows, which is the important, crucial bit. Sorry, excuse me. Rather than simply helping an individual work faster, organizations can start redesigning how work gets done across entire departments. For many businesses, this is where some of the biggest long-term opportunities are likely to come from. we've got to think about AI and Microsoft 365 and how do we make this AI technology work for us? How do we get the best and most value out of this that will positively impact our business and push us towards business growth, and a better customer experience, which also leads to customer growth. It's all about growth and development, and that's what AI can help us do. All right, so that's it, guys. Thank you. I know that was a very long presentation because there was lots of updates, and thank you for bearing with me. This was my first webinar, and I am getting up to speed on Microsoft 365 stuff, but I'm loving doing it because I just cannot believe I've been using AI for probably 2 years now, and I haven't used M365 before. I started here a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just blown away by its capabilities. It's incredible the way the whole M365 system talks to each other. Like, I've been really, really impressed. I previously used a lot of Google Drive, but yes, I'm fully on the M365 now and loving it. So if you'd love to, I will also quickly share, if I can, the link to book a chat in, the link to book a chat in the actual chat. So, but also you can scan the QR code, or once I send the deck round as well, that's a clickable link where I've got book a chat with our team. Any of our current clients as well, I think where to find Mary, Anita, our lovely customer service and sales manager. Any new faces in here, we'd love to chat. Even if you've just got questions, absolutely no obligations. We just love tech and are happy to help out the community and anyone interested in talking tech and AI. So I hope you've enjoyed the chat. It was a bit of a long one just because there's so many features, but we will set these up monthly, and we'll do M365 updates, and then we'll also talk a little bit about where AI is at that current time as a whole globally. And I think it'll be really interesting, and I hope you come along for the journey with me. Any quick questions that we could answer now from anyone? Happy to quickly, I might not have the answers if they're super technical, but maybe someone on our team. Feel free to shoot it through. Otherwise, guys, we will send out the next invite for the next webinar. Again, we'll try to keep the content fresh and different, just so you can. Yes, 100%, Marion. Like, part of my kind of onboarding for the last couple of weeks is like, even for this webinar, I was watching a video from Microsoft, and I was stopping the video and I was actually physically doing the updates that they were talking about that aligned with this presentation. And I thought to myself, the hands-on experience and the hands-on playing with it, that's exactly what you need to do. I completely agree. And once you get confident with it, it'll be like you'll know it like the back of your hand. I feel like I've learned so much even in the last kind of week on this. So completely agree, Marion. Just jump in there, start playing with it, and start also, I think a good thing is if you make a list of things that are actually time consuming, from an admin level, and then work out how our AI can slot in and take some of that load off you. I think that's a good way to kind of problem solve and use AI too, is what are your pain points and where can AI solve those pain points? And I know Anita and Mary will also be able to help you with things like that we offer. Okay, so let's wrap up there, guys. I really appreciate your time today. I know it's hard to jump out of a work day and join stuff like this, so I do appreciate it. And yeah, let's have a great rest of I was going to say July, but it's the end of July, isn't it? And I'll hopefully see you guys at the next one in August. Thanks, team. All right, you're so welcome, guys. So welcome. It's been a pleasure.